Hi everyone, before we begin, I'd like to promote two of my friends since they recently uploaded stuff. My friend Effective Kill, he recently uploaded episode 4 of Dead Space 3 Abridged where I provided a voice for one of the characters. And my friend Razor the Awesome recently started his YouTube channel and uploaded his first video. I'll link both of the channels down in the description, check them out. About a month ago, I got into a bit of a debate with someone on Tumblr over the Steven Universe character Lapis Lazuli. And by debate, I mean that I pretty much said I didn't like Lapis's current characterization, and that person called me an ableist, because those somehow connect to each other. Though, I would like to kinda thank that person because they inspired this video.
Is Lapis a good person? Have her actions and attitude made her an unlikable character, or is she just doing what she could in her situation?
Well, I rewatched all the episodes of Steven Universe that have her in it, and I'll look at what she's done in order to answer those questions. Welcome to Judgment of Character.
Do you know who I am? They call me Judgment Boy.
We first meet Lapis in the episode Mirror Gem, where Pearl gives Steven a magical mirror in the hope to teach him, but it doesn't seem to be working. Then throughout the episode, the mirror uses clips of what it's seen in order to talk and befriend Steven. Though when Steven shows this to the gems, they get understandably worried.
I mean, in season 1 of the show, they were constantly finding defective gem creatures that more or less stopped attacking as of late. What do you think happened to them? So, I see you're doing with this Yellow Diamond character and the whole bigger plot thing. You don't need to say more, we know that we were Monster of the Week fella. See you later.
Anyway, Steven frees Lapis and the gems are still worried, and Lapis claims that they knew that she was in there.
And well, there's no real evidence that proves that they did know, yet at the same time there's no evidence that proves that they didn't know.
She then leaves after being unable to convince Steven to go with her. Then in the next episode we see that she has taken the sea. So they go to this tower of water she built and Steven tries to talk to her. It doesn't go well. Then she makes water clones of the gems that put up a really good fight against them. And then we get this infamous moment where she attempts to drown Steven and Connie.
Now, when it comes to this scene, there tends to be like 3 groups of people. First, there's a side that uses the scene to completely demonize her. Then there's a side who looks at that side and says, no, you're just taking it out of context.
And then there's the side that pretends that it never happened, because Lapis is just a precious babby who's done nothing wrong.
I'm a bit in the middle of the 2 groups, since you can make the argument that Lapis may not have known that humans can drown, like how in the late episode Peridot didn't realize she could have hurt Greg by pushing him off of the roof. Yet at the same time, the head does seem like an oddly specific place to target.
Though Steven does get a chance to talk to her, and he heals her gem so she can fly back to Homeworld.
Yeah, with a cracked gem, she's still powerful enough to take the entire ocean and build a tower that reaches space, but using her powers to make her wings is somehow outside of the realm of possibilities. Yeah, this universe has some weird rules.
We don't see Lapis until near the end of the 3rd season, where she sends a message to Steven warning him about the gems coming to Earth. Then when the gems get captured by Jasper and Peridot, we see that she's their prisoner and that she's more or less given up. Then after the rest of the episode, Jasper, in desperation to defeat the gems, convinces Lapis to fuse with her. Though don't worry, it turns out that she didn't turn heel, because she drags her and Jasper down to the bottom of the ocean.
Which, there's a logical flaw with this plan. I mean, yes, in the context of a story, what they went with works better and you get more mileage out of it. But if the situation were to happen in real life somehow, wouldn't it have been smarter to not fuse with Jasper and side with the gems? At that point, it's 5-on-1. 6-on-1 if you count Garnet as 2 people. Yes, I know Lapis does have her issues with the gems, but at that point you have a common enemy. You know what they say, hindsight's 20/20.
We don't see Lapis again until about halfway through season 2, where Steven somehow contacts his Lapis through his dreams.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still haven't given a proper explanation to that. Hell, at this point, Steven can now take control over the Watermelon Stevens in his sleep, pretty much giving him doom bots.
Anyways, in his dream, Steven tries to convince her that he and the gems can help her, but she refuses the help. Then she is absent until the beginning of Season 3, where the gems separate her and Jasper falls down a chasm. When she wakes up, she tries to leave, only to realize that she has nowhere to go. She sees Steven fly around, and they end up at the Galaxy Warp, where she shows Steven that she was punched out by Wooly and put into the mirror by the Homeworld gems. Then she was left behind and eventually found by Pearl.
Once again, really unclear if they knew she was in there or not. Though from this flashback, I'm leaning towards that they didn't, so there's a chance that her dislike for the crystal gems may be unfounded.
When they get back, she decides that she wants to stay on Earth, but she doesn't want to be around Paradox since she apparently interrogated her back on Homeworld. Then the next episode.
This is the episode that started that debate because... You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Lapis is a fucking bitch in this episode.
Steven tries to have them split the bond, but she wants it all to herself. Steven helps Peridot make an apology card, but she rejects it, though I will admit that Peridot could have thought of something better to say than "you just had valuable information." Peridot gives her a small lake because water's kind of her thing, but Lapis gets triggered because she was trapped underwater for months.
A situation that she literally put herself in and refused to get out of when help was offered to her.
Then finally, Peridot gives Lapis her tape recorder, literally her most precious object, and Lapis crushes it in her hand. This is when Peridot snaps and tells her that she too can't go back to Homeworld and that she can help her get used to Earth however she can. Lapis says that she can help by leaving, and Peridot tries to do this, and then Steven chews Lapis out a little bit for not giving her a chance. That's when Peridot comes back running in fear of the setup for the next episode. Though when Lapis knocks down the ship, she does ask Peridot if she's okay, so at least there's that. On to the most recent episode with her in it, where a bunch of rubies come out of the ship, and Steven comes up with a plan to have them leave. Challenge them to a game of baseball. Yeah, I think Sapphire put it the best.
I saw that this was a possibility, though I am surprised that this is the path we're taking.
Or maybe Lapis puts it better.
This plan sucks.
So Lapis spends the rest of the episode giving us funny moments of her just not giving a fuck.
Though, we get a brief but very important moment in this episode.
She gives Ruby a high five.
And note, this is the Crystal Gem Ruby, not one of their Homeworld rubies.
She just gave one of the gems that she blames for trapping her on Earth a sign of friendship. Though, I feel like that's what they're gonna do with her. They'll probably have her slowly learn to forgive the gems for what they may or may not have done, and eventually she'll befriend them and become the Team's 6th Ranger.
Anyways, while doing this character study, while I found that I personally did not agree with a lot of her actions, especially in bondmates, I did find it hard for me to fault her for most of them and say that she's a bad character because, well, she's not. Far from it.
I am able to sympathize with her since she has spent who knows how long as a prisoner, imprisoned twice by other gems and once by herself. So she does have her reasons for acting the way that she does. Plus I do appreciate that she does care about Steven and that she does slowly seem to be forgiving the gems. Yet this does make it seem like she might get mood swings. I mean, with 3 episodes in a row, she went from being pretty nice to completely unpleasant to just giving no fucks. So it seems like they're presenting her a bit like a moody teenager, which is fine and can be interesting, but some of her moods are definitely more pleasant than others. I think I should also bring up that some say that the fusion and Malachite may be a metaphor for an abusive relationship.
Which, yeah, I can definitely see that. And if that's what the show staff intended, then good on you for finding a kid-friendly way to present something that serious. And I do hope that you can find a kid-friendly way to show her recover for something like that. Maybe that's how the gems get her to like them. I'm all for that.
So overall, Lapis, you may not be my favorite character, and you may have a few moments that are kinda questionable, but I still think that you're a good person deep inside, and I am ready and willing to start liking you more.
Thank you.
So that was Judgment of Character. This was an interesting experiment. And hey, if this is well received, I may do more of these in the future. I definitely have a few characters in mind I can do. So, with that, what's up next? Hey, who turned off the lights?
Don't be afraid. Be terrified.
She was trapped in a mirror and it couldn't be clearer. She wanted to leave this place and get herself back in space. And Dad, you might think she's a criminal, but her friendship comes through subliminal. Lapis Lazuli, you fled into the bottom of the